What's up guys, it's Missy. I am back with another SimCity Buildit video. The only reason I don't have it pulled up right now is because I'm showing you guys something here, and that is parallel space. For those of you guys who are asking, this particular app is the one that you run with Android. I don't know about iOS. I don't mess with that. Apple, I don't mess with Apple. So that being said, this is the parallel space app. I apologize, the screen won't rotate, but this will be really quick. Basically what you do is you install this app and all of the stuff that it tells you need to download, like the 64-bit to run it on the game on your phone. And basically what you would do is you would have your normal SimCity, right? So your main one here that's on the front of your screen, and then you would have your parallel space one, which would be your second version, meaning you can have two different cities on one device. So basically what you've done here is you've done a cloning app, right? Where you can launch this as a new game like that. Do wazoo, stupid lady. This is basically the app cloned, but with a new city. So now I would close this version of SimCity, and I would go to the original version of the game, and this will open my normal game. So for those of you who wanted to know if or how you could put two cities on one device, this is how you do it. Okay, so as many of you guys may have noticed, there is a lot of changes being made to the game this time. That you figure it out and you start to benefit, they change it. It's nothing new. It's going to mess with the way you guys play the contest for you low-level comm players. Really, I won't give you guys a definitive answer on much of anything until this week has passed and I've at least been able to kind of look through what we got going on here and analyze it. Anything is fixable though, right? Anything is playable and fixable. It's just a matter of what you got to do to fix it and how you got to play it, right? So let's get into all of the changes that are being made. First change being the icon to the game has changed. Many of you probably noticed that. Or I hope you noticed that, because if you didn't, then you probably don't notice much of anything that goes on around you. Okay, I'm trying to find my stylus before this loads. Hold on. Alright, this is my limestone map. I was supposed to get stuff done yesterday and design on it, and as you can see, I fell asleep because nothing's changed. Okay, now let's go to the main screen. I've been aware of the changes since like 42 minutes ago. I don't know how these changes are going to affect the game. A lot of these changes affect the game in so many ways that people don't realize, right? So, for example, they brought out a thing called assignment streaks, right? And we'll talk more about that here in just a minute. Okay. So, first thing you always want to do anytime that it is the new pass is you want to, or anytime that you get an email, is this. And that is look at the updates that are in front of you. This one here says that they are now allowing war cards to go up to level 20. Now, to me, I'm not an active war player, okay? I do it for the purpose of the contest. But in my opinion, it does bring some level of interest to the current war players, as they'll be able to level up their cards. It'll get them to spend more money. So, EA is like money, money, money there, right? But in terms of hacking, it mostly applies to the hackers, because they just like to hit with big numbers and hack, and I don't see the fun in it, Basically, you're just seeing who has the most hacked items and who can be awake the longest to hit the most. Is basically what it comes down to when you play hacked against hacked. To me, that's not any fun. But anyways, yes, the war cards can now go up to level 20. Now we have the cobblestone streets. So some of you guys may have noticed this today, and that is this here is 10,000. So let's go. I don't know how this is going to affect your 3 red roads. I don't know if these are not, you know, in sync with those 3 red roads, if they took that out, if because I don't know if you'll have to upgrade these roads, the cobblestone roads, or if they're just, you know, a flat rate. But let's figure that out. I also now have this lovely yellow bag here that I didn't have here before. Some of you guys already had this button though, but basically it is a button that brings you to the spending money screen. They want to make sure you don't miss it. That's why you have so many of them, you know. See, got the one up there at the top. Okay, so cobblestone. Wait a minute here. There we go. So this one is free, this one is 10,000. So that would be $50,000 to do that one little area there. That 40,000. That is ridiculous. Okay? Absolutely ridiculous. But for the purpose of the video, let's just put it out there. Put it out one notch for $10,000. And it is uglier than hell. It's ugly. It really is. It's freaking ugly. Maximum level reached. Okay, so we know we don't have to upgrade them. But it is hideous. Okay, so actually what this tells me is that this is, if you didn't do the red roads trick, this one is still more expensive than the other roads. Because if you go to the other roads, what most people will probably think is, well, I won't have to upgrade the other road, right? So all is well. No, actually that's not the case, because if you do the math on the other road, from start to finish, it's 7,500 per 1 unit of square. And they place this one at 10 grand. So you're paying more. You're still paying more by only laying it down once for 10,000 versus laying down one for free and then upgrading it up to 7,500 until you hit the Omega, right? So even then, this is still a ripoff. I can't imagine that many people would want to spend this kind of cash, you know, on these roads. So that being said, I would not be doing this. Okay, this is a waste of money. Now, if you really like the look of it and you're doing some kind of weird design, then okay, you know, for the purpose of the appearance rather than the purpose of cost. But in overall, in all actuality, this is an absolute ripoff. Okay, so that's one of the first changes. The next change is the contest of mayors. So what they've done is they've added in assignment streaks. If you fail one assignment within that streak, you fail the entire streak and you have to wait for the new streak to begin. Well, we won't know anything until we see it work firsthand and to see, you know, what type of assignments they give you. Because see, what I could see happening is low-level comm players starting a assignment streak and then getting hit with some kind of an upgrade in there, and then feeling like they're forced, and the game's basically saying, come on, you better upgrade your city, you better put yourself into a hole that you can't get out of, so you have to spend more money. Because let's face it, if you upgrade, that's exactly what you're doing. If you upgrade too early, you're putting yourself in a situation where you are basically screwed. You know, you can't find rares at that level, you can't do much of anything. So the next change that they did was this. And they allowed that you guys to pay for the monster if it's not in your city. So, hang on just a second here. Right now he's in my city, so you can't tell, but I had a screenshot this morning and it showed $105 for her monster, and he was 2 days out. How will this change the contest? Well, it'll change the contest a couple of different ways. And that is that basically I would not be paying to bring him back unless you absolutely were in a rut. Like maybe you're not in a war, and you have a really important war assignment and another deliveries assignment, and you see benefit to spend that level of cash, then okay. Okay, so the next thing here is that we will have to determine at a later time, but basically the same thing with the monster that applied in the first contest of Mayor's Guide. That is that you leave that one sit because it's not worth it coming back, worth a 2,000 or 2,500 value, and then you not being able to do it. So if it is in your list worth less than 2,000 points, then you definitely want to ignore it, okay? That being said, the next thing here, when you open up your tower, which is not loading. Okay. Next one starts in 16 hours, okay. Okay. Trying to find the part where it says okay, right here. So it says our system randomly selects the assignments for a streak and presents them to you at one time. This is called a streak. Oh gee, thank you. Okay. If you complete all of the assignments in a streak, you will receive bonus Plum Bob points. You need to complete all of the assignments in the streak, or in a streak, in the elected time in order to qualify for the bonus, blah blah blah. If you fail one assignment in the streak, you will end the current streak and need to wait. If you manage to complete one, if you manage, that's okay, that's retarded, but okay. If you manage, so basically we're going to make it hell for you guys. You can start another streak immediately. There's a maximum number that you can do in one round. The number of assignments in the streak and bonus depends on the league in which you are playing. Okay, so basically it sounds like everybody's going to be randomly awarded these streaks, and if they're able to complete them and keep them going, they can earn a substantial amount of bonus points, and if not, then it'll be due to you. You're screwed. Now, what it sounds like to me is that they are going to make it to where they're going to push you guys to upgrade. It's kind of what it sounds like. Like, they'll probably start the streak off with something that seems decent, and then give you a bunch of garbage. Like, oh, here, have a Latin upgrade. You know? That's my guess. But the question is, do you lose the points from the assignments, and how many of them count against you? You know? So what I'm asking, well, my theory is here is, let's say you start one of these streaks, and it costs one of your assignments, and you don't complete that streak, you don't get the bonus points, but do you get the points that you earned is the question. Because if you don't even get the points that you earned, then it wouldn't even be worth risking it if you knew you couldn't possibly do all three, right? Because then you could drop your average a substantial amount. It sounds like, let's see, it says if you fail one of the assignments in the streak, you would end the current streak and need to wait some time before being able to start a new one. So it doesn't really say what's going to happen. So we won't know anything until we try it out. But it sounds like that to me. It sounds like it's a major gamble, right? And that people that are willing to throw away experience and things like that are going to benefit from this gamble temporarily, of course, because basically what the game's saying is they're pulling on that instant gratification that we humans like to thrive on. And that is, I can have all of this now, but not thinking about the later. You know, thinking about, okay, sure, you're getting extra bonus points right now, but how is it going to affect your gameplay later on? And that is where a lot of people fall off and where a lot of people screw up their game. You know, they think about, oh, I'll just do that design challenge for 2400. It's no big deal. And then next thing you know, they're rationalizing all these other things, and then their game's screwed up, and they're sitting there going, well, you know, I didn't even win, or even if you did win, it's not even worth it, you know? So you have to ask yourself what you're willing to give and where you're going to be once you do so. Okay, so if it's risking you leveling up to a point where you're going to be, you know, past the threshold to find any rares, past the threshold to win a competitive, you know, amount of comm, I wouldn't do it. I would just say screw it and do the best that you can for what you can do, you know? There's no sense in throwing away a bunch of hard work for a couple of extra freaking points. You know what I'm saying? That just doesn't make sense. Now, for those of you guys who play the contest of mayors the exact way that I do the training, basically any screenshots from any of my trainees is going to be helpful to me. I'll do my best to analyze them all week long, figure out what we got going on here, and then you will definitely have a video out from me explaining the best possible way to go about playing, okay, given the circumstances. Now, don't be surprised when they change it again, because this is what they do, okay? They constantly change things when people start to succeed and prevail and do better, right? Because they need you to spend money. That's what it comes down to. And right now, as long as you guys are able to play and benefit, then the only way really that they end up making the majority of their money is through content. And we all know that EA isn't known for the best content, right? So they basically have one of two options. Either change the game to sound like they're doing something good here, when in reality, the only changes they're making are bad. They're not making the game better, easier, or even more enjoyable. They're just making it more difficult, irritating, and less enjoyable. Or they would be forced to, I don't know, get somebody with half a brain in there that would say, hey, you know what, you've got a big following for this game, a lot of people really like it, and the vast majority of these people are saying they want better content. You know, they want better communicating options through group members. You know, if you are going to have this war feature with this game, then you should separate war from the contest of mayors and make it to where it's an optional thing. Because right now, it's bullshit that people are forced to play something they don't want to play in order to play a certain part of the game they want to play. And even if you weren't going to take that out, the point is the buildings, the content, the things like that is what they should be focusing on. That's where the money should be spent. When you spend your money on a fictional thing, I say fictional because it's almost like it doesn't even exist, like the contest, that's where money is wasted, right? So when you buy Sims Cash and you buy a building per se, you know, like let's say they were to bring out some like first off, the gambling category, it's pretty damn slim considering how many badass casinos you could put out. There's like nothing in there. Same with transportation. They could be giving us trains, hot air balloons, buses. I mean, there's all kinds of things they could do. Airplanes. And they're lacking in the transportation department. So instead of bringing out better content, what they do is they say, okay, let's get it to where they're spending money on things like assignments for points. And then points turn into Chuck E. Cheese prizes. That's basically what you're doing. You're taking your real money, turning it into Sims money, and then burning all your Sims money up for tickets like you do at Chuck E. Cheese, and then you walk up to the counter with all of these tickets and you get your shit prize. And why are you doing that? Why? That's not fun. That's miserable, right? So what you need to do is figure out a way to where you don't have to spend your money to be able to win something, right? And that's what my channel promotes, is by not having to spend money and still be able to prevail and do good at the game. But it comes with restrictions. You can't just pay your way through the easy, you can't just level up and do whatever you want to do and slack off all week and half-ass everything and have a crap city. You have to start at ground zero and work your way up the most beneficial way, and it takes a lot of work, if you don't want to end up paying. And a lot of people, it really comes down to what you find most enjoyable about the game. If what you find enjoyable is hacking, then of course you're going to hack. If what you find enjoyable is spending real money, playing casually, and not really giving a shit, then that's what you're going to do. But if you want to spend little money, prevail, and do good, then that is where you're going to do the best. Okay, so the game finally loaded the 15 pass, so I'm going to go ahead and turn this video off, and then we're going to go ahead and get level 15 pass done.